Ancient Egypt's most filthy secrets. Ancient Egypt was the world's longest continuous civilization that brought us pyramids, papyrus, mummies, and pharaohs. We all love a pyramid, don't we? Especially when they're really old. But can you know the secret hidden behind this? Today we reveal the most filthy secrets of ancient Egypt. Pregnancy test. Pregnancy tests are never a fun thing to need. They're rarely used in anything but panic, and this has been a problem that dates back to ancient Egypt. We have always had this problem. Not only did ancient Egyptian women have and use pregnancy tests, but they were actually incredibly accurate for a time, 70%, which is not bad at all, and also included more than what we have today, whether the child would be born assigned male or female at birth. Although the ancient Egyptians used the same method we do today, which is a woman providing a urine sample. We figured out urine samples as being directly tied to fertility over 3,500 years ago, and we're still using them today. So how were pregnancy tests so effective in ancient Egypt, and how could they determine the assigned sex at birth too? Well, part of it is that they weren't exactly peeing on sticks and getting results for yes or no. The ritual was to pee in a bag of barley and to pee in a bag of emmer wheat if either bag sprouted any seedlings. The woman was carrying a baby for sure, according to their science, which again was 70% accurate according to the National Institute of Health. Now, they weren't exactly going with hormone-based results. A sprout from either bag meant that the person was pregnant, but if you watched closely, which one sprouted first would tell you if you were to have a male or female baby at birth. If the barley sprouted first, the child would be assigned male at birth, and if the emmer wheat sprouted before the barley, it meant you were having a little girl. Invented toothpaste. The Egyptians had a lot of trouble with their teeth because their bread had grit and sand in it, which wore out their enamel. While they didn't have dentistry, they did make some effort to keep the teeth clean. Archaeologists have found toothpicks buried alongside mummies, apparently placed there so that they could clean out food debris from between their teeth. In the afterlife. Along with the Babylonians, they're also credited with inventing the first toothbrushes, which were frayed ends of wooden twigs. The Egyptians also contributed an innovation to dental hygiene in the form of toothpaste. Early ingredients included the powder of ox hooves, ashes, burnt eggshells, and pumice, which probably made for a less than refreshing morning tooth care ritual. Archaeologists recently found what appears to be more advanced toothpaste recipe and how-to-brush guide, written on papyrus, and dates back to the Roman occupation in the 4th century CE. The unknown author explains how to mix precise amounts of rock salt, mint, dried iris flower, and grains of pepper to form a powder for white and perfect teeth. Mummified crocodiles. When archaeologists excavating an undisturbed tomb at Qabat el-Hawa, a necropolis on the western bank of the Nile River, discovered a cache of mummified crocodiles in 2019. They weren't entirely surprised. After all, such finds are common in Egypt, where ancient humans preserved dead animals as sacred offerings. Food for the afterlife, or incarnations of specific deities. Crocodiles, for instance, were associated with Sobek, the creator of the Nile and a powerful fertility god. Upon closer examination, the team realized that the reptiles were preserved differently than most mummified crocodiles. The reptiles range in length from 6 to 11.5 feet. They appear to represent two different species, the Nile crocodile and the West African crocodile. As D. Coupier explains in a statement, the animals may have been buried in sand pits elsewhere to undergo natural mummification before being exhumed and moved to Qabat el-Hawa around the 5th century BCE. Because the mummies contain neither resin nor linen, insects ate almost all of the bandages used to wrap the remains long ago. The researchers were able to study them in situ without using special technology like radiographs and CT scans. Interestingly, none of the Qabat el-Hawa crocodiles had injuries associated with violent death. The reptiles may have been killed by drowning, suffocation, or prolonged exposure to the sun. Traces of rope discovered on several of the mummies may indicate they were tied up, probably until their death by dehydration. We hope you enjoyed another episode of History Bazaar. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the fastest growing history channel on YouTube.